Greetings, good day, everyone. This is Wisdom Hunter back at you. Um, with EPINNA'S whole body restorations, and I wanted to share some knowledge. Um, a lot of people ask me why, what got me into this. I've been asked several occasions. Did I go to school for this? How did I gain the knowledge? You know, um, and things of that nature. As far as wanting to go back natural, doing all the research and finding things that are good for our bodies, and creating products and things of that nature. Um, Outside of that, I do write. I write poetry. I do spoken word. Uh, I've recently completed a book, and that fits under that umbrella whole body restoration, not just targeting one area of the body, but the body as a temple, as a whole, and restoring it as much as we can from all the destruction that's been placed on it. Just as our physical mind has been tampered with, our mind as well. And that has to be understood. And all of that has to be in a balance, be in connection. But in saying that, I've experienced a lot as far as some may say going through the fire, to get to where I am today. And when I'm seeking knowledge, I'm normally I analyze it from A to Z. I want to know find out as much as I can to satisfy my thirst. And when it comes to body care, as far as what we're putting on our bodies, I know that there's been deception. We've been deceived, you know. And in some of my research, I do comparisons, you know, uh, between the nations. What do other countries use opposed to us? What was used in this era in time, and why did it change? And you know, um, is there a difference between the masses and the upper echelon, the elite, as far as all of these? And in every aspect, I do the research. And of course, there is a difference in what's being presented to us when it comes to body care, hair care, things of that nature. Of course, if you're rich, you're going to get the best of the best. But saying that to say, what if you're not rich and can't afford the best of the best, so they say, what are you getting? And what are the benefits and what are the hazards? And what I'm getting if it's not the best of the best. Sometimes the bottom of the barrel can be good, and sometimes the bottom of the barrel can be bad. So where do I stand in it, and how is it affecting the care of my hair, the care of my body? What am I being taught? What am I being sold? Because we put a lot of money into body care and hair care products. So we should be conscious of that. So I put together some information here, and this is how there are loopholes, how they can put chemicals into your products. You have a fragrance loophole, which is permitted in the U.S. That means you can add other things and not list it on a label, and you can put it simply under fragrance. Okay, and here in the EU, that's forbidden. Everything has to be placed ingredient transparency. Here in the US, partial, no disclosure, full mandatory. Pre-market safety review, mandatory. The US, it's not. It comes after harm. The EU, they try to prevent, before sale. Banned ingredients is slowly improving with the US. Other countries, and the EU, they've already they are either stopped or they're very strict on what they're adding to their products. This is just another little slide that I put together as well, in describing what now. A lot of times when we get products and it says natural or it says natural and artificial added or whatever, you note that it may be 1% of something natural in it. And that's it. It's not going to be much more than that, unless again it's in the elite market. A lot of oils that are used in products that are sold in high end markets, we very seldom see them in products that are sold mass market, like mango seed oil, watermelon seed oil, moringa, things like that. You're going to see that in high end consumers. High concentration of natural ingredients, and it's going to be a minimum of chemical and small batch production. Market as and it's marketed as clean beauty and sold in luxury stores. Now, in lower class and mass consumers, we're getting watered down formulas, synthetic fillers, high fragrance, because that's why I notice when I make a product and I may upload a picture, someone will comment, I bet that smells good. Our brain has been programmed to smell first, think, benefit later. As long as it smells good, it works, which is so far from the truth. It has long shelf life because of the chemicals that are added. And it's sold in mass productions, marketed as affordable and effective, sold in discount chains, local stores. Now, why it matters: profit and power determine product purity. The same natural resources are refined for luxury, while communities of origin receive the most processed versions. Now, and this is another visual also, just describing basically what I went over. Why is it, only in elite societies where we're seeing quality skin care, hair care, body care products is a higher cost for production? Low production versus low production costs. long lasting, and easy to mass produce. That's what fluctuates. That's what the masses get. And yeah. So now we can look at the transformation before the early 1900s. We, it was more natural. I mean, this is probably where people were testing out because Madam C.J. Walker, early 1900s, from the 1950s to the 1960s, which was, that was early 1900s, the black entrepreneurs like Madam C.J. Walker established hair and beauty markets for black Americans. In the 1950s and 60s, Asian countries such as Korea became leading exporters of wigs and false hair. 1965, U.S. imposes embargo on Asiatic hair, increasing Korean exporters' market share. In the 1870s, Korean firms and Korean American retailers gained major foothold in black hair markets. Um, and these are just some of the things to think about when it comes to hair and care products within our communities, and who is really in control of it. You know what I'm saying? Why are we not in control of what goes on our hair and on our bodies? It's, 1980s to 1920s, Asian controlled manufacture, imports, and distribution came to dominate the supply of wig extensions and synthetic hair. And the 2010 Chinese markets and others expanded. Yeah. And here again is just another visual of natural versus commercial skincare. Who really gets what? And like I stated, high fragrance and preservatives. We go for that fragrance. Oh, if it smells good, then it's good for my body. And again, that's so farthest from the truth. You know, and again, why does it matter? Again, profit and power determines product purity. The same natural resources are refined for luxury, while communities of origin receive the most processed versions of it. And, so it's important to know what's in your product and to protect your skin. And why don't we have access easily? Well, we have easily access, but a lot of times we don't know. And it's easy to get caught up in trends and fast and now, because it's a process if you're wanting to make it. And those of us that do make it, it's not like our brands, because you have to have a brand now, and you can't just say, hey, I make natural oils. That it's gonna have to go through word of mouth. It's gonna have to, for your name to just be there. But I know it's a lot of people like myself that are in this and that's making the products, but it's a small community of us, but we are growing in numbers to get this knowledge out on how this is beneficial to us, because I think all of this is to keep us in balance. And when I say mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and soul, I mean to keep us in balance. Because if the mind if the body is in balance and the mind is in balance, if the mind is balanced and the body is balanced, then your spirit that should be a greater connection when it comes to a spirit, your spirituality. Yeah, and that's a firm belief of mine, and I know it works. Your thought process is that much clearer. You know, you're more in a line with nature. With you're more in line with your natural being. Yeah, that's now hair care. I mean, hair products. Who really gets what? Um, the elite market, um, cold pressed oils, castor, coconut, moringa, neem, argan, no parabens, no sulfates, minimum processing, uh, nutrient rich, available in luxury stores and holistic brands. Now they're adding holistic brands to it. Uh, True hair nourishment and scalp health. The lower class, commercial access. Synthetic oils and fillers, mineral oils, silicones, parabens, strong fragrance, chemical stabilizers, watered down nutrient content, mass produced for volume, not quality, clogs follicles, long term damage risk. Why it matters. Natural oils from Africa and the Caribbeans are extracted and refined for elite brands. Processed chemicals and heavy versions are resold to the very communities of origin. How does that make sense? Protect your crown. I mean, yeah, sometimes these are hard pills to swallow, but we're not gonna continue to swallow these pills. We're going to awaken and we're going to awaken and come to the light to see that the same natural oils that are from Africa and the Caribbeans are often extracted and refined for the elite markets, while processed chemically heavy versions are returned to the very communities of origin. Access and class determines the quality and purity of what people receive. Please protect your crown. Know what's in your products. But yeah, and this goes to food and nutrition as well, because it's what we're putting in our body. It goes to daily market. We know organic fruit, what they call organic, natural, clean grown fruits and vegetables and grains, cold pressed oils, natural with the natural sweeteners and seasonings, minimum processed farm to table freshness, availability through health stores, and organic delivery. They got their ways of getting their foods straight from where it's grown. When we have to go through a lengthy when we're getting go through this lengthy process, it has to be processed, it has to be this, it has to be that before it hit our tables. And so it's not just what we're putting on our bodies, it's just as well what we have been taught to put in our bodies. And it's funny how I can remember coming up, and I'm 58, and how things have changed. So I can imagine someone that that is just being born into these new eras of how the time stands, because they're just born into processed. If they're not being raised to eat that, natural. We didn't always eat like this. You know what I'm saying? We used to do this. And I just pray and hope that that's in all our, someone like that is in each and every one of our households, to bring back to remembrance, and to know you don't have to accept a processed society. It's okay. Gain patience. It doesn't always have to be ready here now. And always remember, if something is already good, what is the need of improvement? Or 25% more? Why you want to sell me so much more now? Ask questions. It's no harm in that at all. But again, lower class market, processed foods with additives, preservatives, refined sugars, hydrogenated oils, GMOs, low nutrient density, high calorie filler foods, available fast food chains and corner stores associated with imitation, obesity, and illness. Yeah, I've been victim of it. So as most of us have, but I also remember how there was life before all of this, before the fast food chain. Coming up in Louisiana, I didn't really. We went to town and we saw fast food stores and things like that, but in the country, we would go to town. I may not see town again in 2 weeks because I was a child. I didn't have to go to town back and forth to the town because we lived in the country area, you know. So I wasn't familiar with um, fast foods and things like that. I when I grew up, it was breakfast, dinner, supper. I really didn't get into lunch and all of that till I moved to Texas. And that was just a what, 4 hour drive, you know, in difference, you know. So, but I still have that remembrance, and I give all the thanks to the Most High that I do still have that remembrance, because I can't get trapped. Not just saying I haven't dibbled and dabbled, that I haven't, yeah, the quick fast, okay, this is it. But I For some reason, that subconscious always say, "Hey, pull back. You don't know that ain't you know better than that." You know what I'm saying? You don't have to live like that. You know, it's nothing wrong with making your own products. It's nothing wrong with sharing them with others. You know, it's nothing wrong with wanting to not live and eat on everything that's been processed that's going into your body. And so there is a lot of reasons why I do what I do. But the main point is I love what I do. You know, love is action. That's why I do what I do, because I love what I do. But again, as I stated, it is not only the what goes on the body is the outer and the inner of the body. And I just wanted to come and share this information as far as who is EPINNA'S whole body restorations. And I am Wisdom Hunter, and I bid you a good day, good evening, good night. Um, Much peace and blessings and respect.